Hello, this is Ms. DB. In this video, we are going to look at how to do this assignment on evaluating and then simplifying expressions. So we're going to be given a numerical value, a number that stands for the variable, and we're going to substitute that in, and then we're going to simplify the expression. Now this is using order of operations, but first evaluating. So there's a couple different things going on. When we're done solving the problems, then we will cross out the answers in this box down here and then write the letters that are left to answer the riddle, what kind of dog runs a fever? So if you solve the problems correctly, it will make sense. And your answers will show up down here if you do the problems correctly. So if you get a number that doesn't show up here, then you made a mistake. Let's look at just a couple problems to get you started and show how to cross off the numbers. So number 3 says 6x minus 2y if x equals 4 and y equals 2. Well, 6x written next to each other like that means multiplication. So you can't just write 6, 4 because that looks like 64. We've talked about this before. So I'm going to put the 4 in parentheses because that tells me to multiply. Now what I don't want to do is write 6 times using an x and then an x. That doesn't look right, does it? So we're going to use 6 times 4 with parentheses, or you can use the asterisk, the star key, which is if you push shift and 8 at the same time, you will get that symbol. There's other ways to do this, but we're going to choose one of those two ways on this worksheet. And then we have to subtract 2 times y, but y is equal to 2. So our first step is to replace the variables with what they are equal to. Our second step is to simplify using the order of operations. Now the order of operations are in your textbook in the section that matches this. I didn't replace them here, but let me write them down real quick. So our order of operations is first to do any work in parentheses. We don't have parentheses in this problem, so we don't have to worry about it. The second step is to simplify any exponents. We don't have any exponents in this problem, so I don't have to worry about it. In fact, there's no exponents on this worksheet, so we won't have to simplify those. Our next step then is to do any multiplication or division in order from left to right. So it's very important that you don't think that you have to do all the multiplication first. You don't. Any multiplication or division in order from left to right. And then our last step is to add or subtract. Again, either one can come first. We just do them in order from left to right. All right, so we're ready to use our order of operations here. We have some multiplication to do. We don't have any parentheses or any exponents. 6 times 4 is 24, and then subtract, and then you have to do more multiplication. 2 times 2 is 4. Now we can do our addition or subtraction. We have some subtraction to do, and we get an answer of 20. Now what you do next is you take that answer of 20 and you look for it down here. When you find it, oh, it's right here, you cross it out. You can cross out different ways. One way is to use the strike through tool. If you go to home in your Word and then strike through, that will cross it out. So that's one way you could cross out. If you're writing this by hand, you could just, draw an X through it. And then we do another problem, and then we'll cross it out. When you're all done, there'll be so many letters left that when you write down in order those letters, it will spell something, a couple different words, and then you'll be able to answer the question, what kind of dog runs a fever? So you do need to solve these problems and show your work. You can't just write the answer to the riddle. The points is for doing the work and showing your work. Let's look at one that has parentheses like number 10. Because remember, parentheses will be the first thing to simplify. So in number 10, we have parentheses. I'll rewrite the parentheses, 4e but E is 6. So I'm going to replace E with what its value is, and then it's minus 6 times F, and F is equal to 3. So your formatting is you keep all of this exactly the same. All you do is when you see a variable, you replace the variable with its value. So I have to keep the divided by 2. That's what that means there. And then there's a plus. Don't forget the plus 3F on the end of this one. And F is equal to 3. So 3F means 3 times F, and F is equal to 3. Now we simplify. Now the order of operations says that we're supposed to do the work in the parentheses first. But within the parentheses, we have to follow the order of operations. And so we have 4 times 6 minus 6 times 3. And multiplication comes before the subtraction. 4 times 6, and I get 24. I do the 6 times 3, and I get 18. Then I divide by 2. And then over here, I've got some more multiplication to take care of. 3 times 3 is 9. And then I keep going. So now I'm going to do the work in the parentheses, which is subtracting 24 minus 18. 24 minus 18, if you need to double check, you can use your calculator. It's 6. Now I don't really need the parentheses there anymore. There's only one number in the parentheses. It doesn't mean anything. So you might just want to write here 6 divided by 2 plus 9. Now I'm going to let you finish this problem. And once you do, then remember you're going to go down here, find the solution, and cross the solution off, or somehow mark that you don't want to include that one. And when you're all done, the letters that are left will answer the riddle and help you make sure that you have this worksheet solved correctly. That's it for today. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a wonderful day.